Is our democracy a reality or a carefully crafted illusion? What if I told you that there was no such thing as true democracy? Only the illusion of democracy. Do we truly hold the reins of power, or are we merely puppets dancing to a tune orchestrated by unseen hands? A shadowy network of powerful elites dictates global agendas, manipulates our perceptions, and undermines our sovereignty. This is the reality of the deep state. We are told that we live in a world governed by the will of the people, where our votes determine the course of our nations. But behind this facade of democracy lies a more sinister truth. A truth where unelected, unaccountable entities wield immense power, influencing everything from global pandemics to economic policies. This is not a conspiracy theory anymore. It is the uncomfortable reality of our times. It is time to pull back the curtain, to expose the deep state and its machinations, and to reclaim the power that is rightfully ours. The deep state is not a monolithic entity, easily defined or identified, and this is by design. It is a complex web of individuals and institutions operating in the shadows, each a cog in the machine. Outside of the traditional structures of government, yet deeply intertwined with them. It includes intelligence agencies, powerful financial institutions, multinational corporations, influential think tanks, and the ultra-elite. These entities, often with conflicting interests, converge on one fundamental goal: maintaining and expanding their power and influence on the world stage. They understand the power of information, controlling the flow of news, shaping public opinion through a compliant media, and the censorship of social media platforms. Dissent is silenced. Those who speak up cancelled or shadow banned, their message labeled as misinformation or conspiracy theory, while inconvenient truths are buried under a mountain of propaganda and spin. So if this is really happening, how and where is this going on? Each year, the world's most powerful individuals converge on the small Swiss town of Davos for the World Economic Forum's annual meeting. This gathering of billionaires, CEOs, politicians, Secret Service officials, and celebrities is often criticized as an exclusive club for the global elite, a place where the real decisions are made, far removed from the scrutiny of ordinary citizens. While the WEF claims to be committed to improving the state of the world, its critics argue that its agenda often serves to entrench existing power structures and advance the interests of its wealthy and influential members. At the heart of the WEF's vision is the concept of stakeholder capitalism, a model that promotes the idea that corporations should prioritize the interests of all stakeholders, not just shareholders. While this may sound laudable on the surface, critics argue that it is often used to justify corporate overreach, allowing businesses to expand their influence into areas traditionally governed by governments. This blurring of lines between the public and private sectors further concentrates power in the hands of unelected and unaccountable entities. For many, the WEF's vision represents a dystopian future where individual liberty is sacrificed on the altar of efficiency and control. A control that coincidentally nobody asked for or voted on. The individuals who gather in Davos wield immense power, not just through their wealth and influence, but also through their control of key institutions and their ability to shape global narratives. They are the architects of globalization, the champions of free trade agreements, and the driving force behind the technological revolution that is reshaping our world. While they often present themselves as benevolent philanthropists, their actions often tell a different story. Consider the role of Wall Street and the financial industry in the 2008 financial crisis. Fueled by greed and a reckless disregard for risk, these institutions brought the global economy to the brink of collapse, yet they emerged from the crisis largely unscathed, thanks to taxpayer-funded bailouts. Meanwhile, ordinary citizens bore the brunt of the economic fallout, losing their homes, their jobs, and their savings. The crisis exposed the deep flaws in a system that rewards recklessness and protects the powerful at the expense of the vulnerable. Ask yourself this question: is this the world I want to live in? The deep state understands that its power depends on maintaining the illusion of democracy. To achieve this, it has perfected the art of manufacturing consent, shaping public opinion through a sophisticated system of propaganda and manipulation. The mainstream media, often owned by corporations with vested interests, plays a key role in this process, acting as a mouthpiece for the powerful and marginalizing dissenting voices. One of the most effective tools of propaganda is the creation of a false dichotomy, dividing the public into two opposing camps and pitting them against each other. This strategy is often used to distract from real issues and to prevent meaningful debate. For example, the endless culture wars that dominate our media cycle serve to divide us along ideological lines, preventing us from uniting against the common enemy, the corrupt and unaccountable elites who benefit from our division. Another key tactic is the use of fear and scapegoating. By creating a climate of fear and uncertainty, the deep state can manipulate public opinion and justify its own authoritarian measures. The war on terror, for example, has been used to justify mass surveillance, the erosion of civil liberties, and endless foreign interventions. While many emergency powers were introduced during the pandemic, but those powers were never rescinded and probably never will be. The deep state thrives on public apathy. When citizens are disengaged, uninformed, and distrustful of each other, they are less likely to challenge the status quo or hold their leaders accountable. The deep state understands this and has worked tirelessly to cultivate a sense of cynicism and resignation among the population. A demoralized population believe it is pointless to challenge the system. They believe their voice carries no weight and that there is nothing they can do. The endless cycle of unfulfilled political promises, followed by disappointments, is one way in which the deep state fosters apathy. Politicians from both sides of the aisle make grand promises during election campaigns, only to break them once in office. This constant betrayal erodes public trust in government and creates a sense of learned helplessness. People come to believe that nothing ever changes, that their voices don't matter, and that voting is a pointless exercise. The mainstream media also plays a role in fostering apathy. By focusing our attention on sensationalized news stories, celebrity gossip, and partisan bickering, the media distracts us from the real issues facing our society. This is all by design, and part of a finely tuned deep state machine that has been purposely constructed over a long period of time. The deep state's control extends far beyond the realms of politics and media. It has infiltrated our education system, our healthcare system, our food supply, with elites buying up farmland and telling us to eat bugs, and even our entertainment industry via the increasingly woke Hollywood. Its tentacles reach into every aspect of our lives, shaping our thoughts, our beliefs, and our behaviors. Our education system, once a beacon of enlightenment and critical thinking, has been transformed into a tool for indoctrination and conformity. Students are taught to memorize facts and regurgitate information, rather than to think critically and question authority. The curriculum is often skewed to promote a particular ideology or worldview, while alternative perspectives are silenced, mocked, or marginalized. The healthcare system, once focused on healing and well-being, has become increasingly profit-driven, prioritizing the interests of insurance companies and pharmaceutical giants over the needs of patients. In the UK, the NHS waiting list is off the chart, with people waiting years to see a medical professional. If these people have a serious condition, often they may even die as a result of this wait. This is simply unacceptable. The rise of Big Pharma has led to a surge in the prescription of expensive and often unnecessary medications, while alternative therapies are often dismissed or demonized. We have, in essence, and without even realizing it, become a nation of subscription drug addicts, reliant on our monthly fix. It's a shocking realization. In the digital age, the deep state has at its disposal an unprecedented array of tools for surveillance and control. Our every move online is tracked, our data is collected and analyzed, and our digital identities are used to manipulate and exploit us. The internet, once hailed as a tool for liberation and democratization, has become a panopticon, a prison without walls where we are constantly monitored and controlled. Social media platforms, while ostensibly designed to connect people, have become powerful tools for surveillance and data collection. Every like, every share, every comment we make is tracked and analyzed, every search scrutinized, building up a detailed profile of our interests, beliefs, and behaviors. This information is then used to target us with advertising, to manipulate our emotions, and to influence our decisions. Every time we install an app or visit a website and click yes to the terms and conditions, we agree to hand over every tiny little detail. And nobody ever really fully reads the terms and conditions because they are deliberately worded to be incredibly complicated. So much so that no ordinary citizen can understand what they are agreeing to. Again, this is 100% by design. You feel you have no choice, and so you begrudgingly agree to the terms. So is there anything that we can do to fight back? Let's find out. The deep state's grip on power may seem insurmountable, but it is not invincible. The first step towards breaking free is to awaken from our collective slumber, to recognize the reality of the situation, and to reject the lies and manipulations that have kept us enslaved for so long. We must educate ourselves about the true nature of the system we live in, about the forces that shape our world, and about the tools and tactics they use to control us. We must seek out alternative sources of information, question the official narratives, and engage in critical thinking. We must also break free from the mental chains that bind us, the fear, apathy, and cynicism that prevent us from taking action. We must rediscover our courage, our compassion, and our sense of community. But breaking free from the grip of the deep state will require more than just awareness. It will require action. We must move beyond complaining about the problem and start working towards solutions. We must become active participants in our own governance, demanding accountability from our elected officials and holding them responsible for their actions. Decentralization is key. We must break up the concentrations of power that allow the deep state to thrive. We must support local businesses, local farmers, and local media outlets. We must create alternative systems of education, healthcare, and decentralized finance that operate outside the control of the deep state. The time for action is now. Let us know your thoughts on the deep state in the comments below, and we thank you for watching.